What horrible, ridiculous names have you heard parents choose to call their children? Had a little boy in my program named Rowdy. Kind of rednecky but whatever. Then I found out his older brother is named Howdy. WTF? Found out later that the older boy's legal name is Howard. That's less ridiculous, at least. An ex had friends who named their kids Hate and Rage. Good luck, kids.
I went to high school with a guy named John. Yes, his first name, middle name and last name were all John. My neighbor was the 12th kid. His parents named him Twelver. That's gotta be the worst I've ever seen.
Baby girl. Yes, this was their legal name.
I once encountered a plump young woman whose name, according to her ID, was Rotunda. When I was pregnant, my now ex-mill wanted me to name our son Rock, which is stupid as it is, but the last name is Bowler, so my son's name would be Rock Bowler, and I couldn't do that to the poor kid. My ex thought it would be funny to name him Rocky with the middle name Bell, so his name would be Rocky Bell Bowler.
My mother is a genealogist and discovered that my great-great-great-something grandparents were named Lettuce and Nimrod. A power couple. Update: I spoke with my mom and she said that her name was Lettuce with an I, so y'all were right. And it probably wasn't pronounced lettuce like I imagined, but rather Letitia or something. They were married around the 1840s. The joys of genealogy. Another update: thanks for Silver, my first reward.
Chris Gift, Christwill and Chris Good, all siblings. Bless their hearts.
Some friends of mine in high school knew a girl named Cash Money. Met her once and she said her name with some made-up accent. One recently I ran into was Cadanes.
I went to high school with a guy named Zip Daub. His middle name was Adido. They named that motherfucker Zip Adido Daub.
Okay, Arthur Doak. We called him OK. He was the youngest of 5 kids. Fancy, named after the Reba song, and her sister Truly, named after Truly Scrumptious from Chitty Chitty Bang Bang, Secret Love. She was a kid my mom met when my mom worked at a pediatrician's office. Secret Love's mom laid out the whole story to my mom about the name.
My friend went to high school with Richard Noggin.
This was a nickname, but my aunt called my cousin my little Dingleberry for 10 years without knowing what it actually meant until my mother told her.
Nevaeh. It's heaven backwards. Anyone that tells you their daughter is named Nevaeh will also tell you that it's heaven spelled backwards. Every time.
The neighbor of my dad's ex had a son and daughter called Blaze and Angel. I don't understand the strange spelling.
Wednesday Passion. That was a little girl I used to babysit.
Heard a lady yell at her kid. Graceland, Tennessee, stop running around.
The kid's name was William. Unfortunately for the kid, he had a nickname that was spelled Liam. That doesn't sound so bad until you hear the pronunciation, Yum, like, Will Yum. They called their child Yum and spelled it Liam. No teacher in my classes with him could ever say his name correctly, so he eventually gave up and we all called him the normal-sounding Liam. A family friend named his son Sir, and it's pretty cringe. Honorable mention goes to the former coworker who named his daughter Khaleesi. Saw a mother at the grocery store with 2 annoying rowdy kids named Dillinger and Maverick. They drove away in a lifted pickup truck. I imagine the father is a total dicknose. I read somewhere that some French people wanted to name their daughter Fraise, French for strawberry, and they got denied by the fucking government. Lol.
My mum worked in a maternity ward and a family with the last name Dollar named their infant child Nita, poor kid.
Chevy, because he was conceived in the bed of a Chevy truck.
My favorite I saw while working as a banker was Subway Club. Allah is supreme middle name, last name. His parents named him this and he wanted a loan to open a weed store in a state where it is illegal. To clarify, his middle name is middle name. I forgot the last name, but it was just a normal last name.
Latrina.
Met a kid named Bo once. Learned later he had a twin brother named Arrow.
Graduated with a girl named Bodacious. My mom's friend named her son Zachary, but instead it was spelled Zari. Neighbor's kid is called Exodus. I thought that was weird. Then again, his mother's name is Peaches.
A girl I went to high school was named Martini and her last name was Pitts. She also had a brother named Harold. Guess what they called him?
Cavielin. https://pbs.twim.com/media/ckvvddqxaus.jpg.
Sprinkle cause she looked like a little sprinkle when she was born, so they say. I had a girlfriend in college named Sonra. Her dad wanted a boy named Ernest. They compromised when it turned out she was a girl. This was before the advent of ultrasound.
Joey Jojo Jr. Shabado.
My dad wanted to name my little brother My Kid, with his middle name as Rules. So his full name would be My Kid Rules, our last name. My mum stopped him though lol.
I worked at a registrar office. Had a transcript come through for Queen Fudge.
Mia Khalifa, but a boy.
Brick. Not sure of the spelling, but I'm serious.
Someone on my swim team is named Huckleberry, Huck for short. I also had someone in my 6th grade class named Buckshot Sullivan.
Reason number 327 why I should never have a kid. In high school, I was adamant that when I had a son, I would name him Pyro.
40 and Love Quinn.
This will probably get lost in the comments, but one time I saw a post that was making fun of the name Brinley for being a white name that a Karen would give their child, and that's my name. Sad face.
My mom's class had a 5-year-old girl named Trinket. What kind of shitty parent do you have to be to name your child after a small item of little to no value?
Stuvsy, pronounced as Sky.
I went to high school with Absidy, Princess, Sweetheart, Destiny, Styles, Crescent Moon and Ryan. Not all the same time with the grade shift in high schools. Yeah, I also know a kid named Rocket, but I think that's kinda cool. And hired someone named Candy Bar.
A neighbor I had used to call her daughter Tits. She'd just yell out Tits come here, or Tits here drama club is doing whatever play etc. Felt so bad for the girl, she was like 14 and her own mother had reduced her to Tits. I still remember this episode of Maury where the mom introduced the baby and his name was Kevin. It was spelled with a Q at the start instead of a K, a bunch of silent consonants, and I swear I saw a 7 in there. It was a nightmare.
The two worst ones I've seen in person was Avenue, and G. Fucking stupid names.
My sister met some kids in an international airport named Yellow, Flash, and No Exit. My sister asked No Exit why his mom picked that name. He said when she couldn't think of anything else she saw a No Exit sign from her maternity bed and settled on that. Went to school with a guy named Dude. He was named after his granddad. There was a college football quarterback in Missouri whose first name was Cocaine, named after his granddad. I worked with a lady named Crystal Wineglass.
Went to grad school with a bunch of Chinese international students. One was a guy named Jason Wong, no big deal on that name, but his girlfriend's name was Wanting Guo. I was ready to pay for their wedding if she took his last name. I can only imagine the look on someone's face getting a resume with the applicant's name, Wanting Wong. Did data entry at an amusement park. One pass holder was named Asthma. That was her first name. Asthma, as in the breathing condition.
I know a girl named Random. While at an Easter egg hunt years ago eggs were labeled for each kid, I took the eggs labeled random thinking they were up for grabs. Random's parents were unamused to say the least. Maybe they should have considered the consequences before picking that dreadful name.
One of my co-workers' last name is Rising. Please welcome to the world his baby daughter Valkyrie Rising. I'll admit, it's fucking cool. I don't recall the middle name, but it was normal like Renee or something.
At my school there is a grade 6 boy named Smart. Zambia has names like that. I love my country and people.
Way back in high school in the 90s, I had a friend that shared my birthday. Poor guy's parents named him Dick. At the school they always wrote your last name, first name. As a result, on all school papers his name was Harry, Dick. I was probably friends with him because he was the only kid more bullied than I was.
I went to school with a guy named Jock. He had a half-brother about 12 years younger named Jacques, pronounced Yarquez. An acquaintance growing up was named Tommy Lee. He married a girl named Jasmine Lee. Had a baby which they named, wait for it, Heaven Lee. Probably should have just gone with Uga. There are 2 players on one of the local college basketball teams. The twins named Charles and Charlie.
Lil Joshi, not just a nickname, his actual birth name. He's 10 now. I would hate my mom for calling me that. Not really ridiculous, but I think the spelling is idiotic. Allison, just spell it normally. IDK. Why the fucky people have to be so unique?